Hello everybody, welcome to Tarot and the Star. This is Melody, your host. I am going to be covering the story of Teresa Gibson that went missing in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park on October 8th, 1976. They call her Trenny for short. She was a young girl, 16 years old. She went missing in the national park, and she was with a group of a high school group that was hiking, and this was in Knoxville, Tennessee. So let's see what we can get on Trenny, if we can get anything on Trenny. This is an old case, so she's been gone for quite a while. Let's see. Spirit guides, can you show us if Trenny Gibson that went missing on October 8th, 1976 from the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, if Trenny is still with us today, can you show us what happened to Trenny on October 8th, 1976 in the Smoky Mountains? Now, she was with a group of high school kids, so they're probably like on a, a field trip day or something. That's what I'm thinking, right? She's hiking with a bunch of high school kids back in that time. Oh, it's interesting. Oh, this is going to be interesting and scary as well. Okay. Okay. So I see that she is no longer with us. Okay. Okay. Let's dive into this missing person here. Okay. So Trenny, she starts off with all of the high school kids, and she's excited. She was looking forward to it. She wanted to go on this thing. She has some friends, and I see laughing. It was, I see like she felt really upbeat about this. She's talking to a friend over here, a guy friend. there's no love connection. It's just kind of like a, she's talking to somebody and they're friends, and it's like, oh wow, this is going to be great, you know, this is going to be so cool, you know, that kind of talk. Then I see here, she's walking, and as she's walking, she hears something. She hears something on the side of her. She hears something like on the brush, like on the, they're going on a trail and there's people ahead and people behind, but she hears something a little bit off the trail. So she goes and takes a look. She wants to take a look. What's making that sound? What's making that sound? And as she takes a look, it's like she's hypnotized. I mean, it is so weird to say that, but I'm seeing here somebody that walks off the trail and then it's like a trance. You're like in a trance. And you're going towards a direction of like a beacon, like something is luring you further in. You lost your mind. She's lost her mind. Her mind is not in control. She's not thinking as Trenny thinks. She is in a complete zombie-like state, being lured further. Okay. And then what? Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. So the only way I can describe this is like humanoid creatures that are camouflaged in the forest system. I think I did a reading on this before on Missing 411. You guys should take a look at that. But there's these creatures that are very good chameleon. They are very good chameleon. And you're not able to see that they're literally there. Maybe an indication as to how you would know that something was amiss would be no sound. You wouldn't hear sound. It would be completely void and quiet. Now, she's taken over by these creatures. They've taken her. They've taken her. She doesn't understand that she's taken by these creatures. Her mind is still like a zombie. She is, it's like in her mind, I don't know how to describe this. This is so weird. It's like they're hypnotically entrancing in her mind a beautiful place. They're projecting in her head like you know, let's say maybe a way to describe this is if somebody really loved Disneyland and these things are projecting Disneyland in your head. So you're thinking that you're going to Disneyland, and that's what Trenny was thinking, that she's you know, she's lost her mind. She's like in a zombie-like state because she's like hypnotized. These things have taken over, and they have implanted, like projected, not implanted, but projected in her head, like this beautiful state of mind. So that way she's not in fear. They are leading her. They're leading her to where they want her to go. Trenny, somehow she snaps out of it. And she realizes that she's with these humanoid creatures, and she starts to try to run for it. This is in the middle of the night that she's snapping out of that. She's too far away from search group and everything. She's snapping out of it. She's running. She's unsure where to go. She's running. She's unsure, what direction do I gotta go? I don't even know where I am. And then these things grab her. They grab her, and she dies. I see that they wanted to grab her to do some kind of, they do like experiments on people. And they grab her, and it wasn't that they were trying to kill her. She fell like off of some kind of boulderous terrain. It was like a cliff area, and she fell and she hit her head. She died. She died. So this is a very strange reading. Okay, so what else do we see here in terms of Trenny? I mean, where's her body? You know, are we ever going to find anything? You know, it's scary, you know, scary that this has happened. Like, it's showing here in the reading that these things are creatures of some type. They're, it's like they live in this, they live in the forest, like camouflage, waiting for people to kind of go off on their own. And then that, you know, they it's like they size you up to figure out whether to take you or not to take you. So unfortunately, with her, she was the victim that they felt. Okay. Oh, okay. It's very... it's a very haunting reading. This is kind of dark, you know. This goes with that one. Okay. Yeah. It's like these things, they are dormant. They're in like each forest system. It's like you don't see them there. It's like they're invisible. And then they come and they grab you, and it's scary. Okay. So, okay, you have sabotaging relationships. In the tangle of love, my demons emerge, and I wonder if yours will ask them to dance. For her, I think this card is basically kind of giving me the hint. These things look very monstrous-like. I want to say they could look like what are those things called? The Sasquatch, the Bigfoot, that type of thing. Okay? So it looks evil to her. It looks scary, right? I think she felt maybe she, you know, like she made the wrong choice to wander off, is what she's thinking here, right? So procrastination, the tickling of the clock distracts me from the fact that my worst enemy hides in my mind. Now, for her, it's like she procrastinated. So, you know, like she's stuck in, it's not even her fault, right? Because she's stuck in a state of hypnotic trance. But she feels like she procrastinated, like, you know, I paused too long and then look what happened, you know, that kind of thing. But it really isn't her fault that this happened. These things are just creatures, right? They're not even human. Then you have Jinn. As magic unfolds, a risk is high will arise. Wishes will be granted, but beware the design. This is like This is giving me the vibe that these things have been living in these national parks for a long time. Long time. Okay. And then you have an evil queen. Where love cloods, fear becomes my throne. What would a rose be without its thorns? There is a head person to this hive. Now, I wouldn't say it's necessarily evil. It's an it, okay? It's like a creature. It's more that it's like experimenting on people in some weird way, and I'm getting that when people are not cooperative in this situation, it's like that's when they kind of do away with them. I'm not getting here that they're trying to eat people necessarily. I'm not really getting that. I'm getting that it's like if there's nothing else maybe to eat and the person's uncooperative, maybe they would eat the person, right? But I'm not getting that's the main thing that they do here. Then you have a vampire in the night's embrace, where desire ignite my hunger, keeps consuming all in sight. Yeah, these things are more like evil things, like dark creatures that live in the night. In the dark, they live in the forest, they are camouflaging. They are experimenting on people for something. I don't know what this is. I really don't know what this is. I can't even pick it up with my mind. It's like really weird. Then you have Mystic Swamp. So deep dark waters are reflection you can't see. You won't find yourself if you don't go deep. See, the reflection that you can't see. You can't see these things. These things are invisible, you guys. They're like literally living in the national forests. They're camouflaging. It's like a chameleon. You won't find yourself if you don't go deep. Now, these things want you to go deep into the forest. It's like they're waiting for people to be by themselves so they can prey on them. Okay? And they don't prey on everybody. It's like specific people that they're attracted to grab their attention. And I guess it would be very much like an old folklore, like, you know how they talk about the sirens, like, you know, they talk about when people used to have boats and then they used to go in the water and they'd go in the deep sea and they would see sirens that would lure them with music to that area, and then it would crash their boat, they would end up dying. There wasn't really a purpose behind it. It's not like the siren was really adamantly trying to eat the person. It would eat some people, but it wasn't like that was its main thing. Okay, and that's what this is. It's like these things lure, but it's like they hypnotize you and you don't even know what's going on. And that's what happened with Trenny. That's what it's showing here in the cards. Now take this where it resonates, of course, and leave the rest behind. And, you know, this is a general reading and it is for entertainment purposes, by all means, okay? She is still missing, and of course we should still look for her. But this reading, this card reading, that's what it's showing me. That's what it's saying here. And that's quite scary to think that something like that would live in the national forests. But, you know, there's a lot of deep things that we don't know about in this earth. I mean, if you think about it, it's, you know, we only know, what is it, 10% of the ocean? So the rest of the creatures in the ocean, we don't even know, right? So, I mean, you imagine there's still so many animals that are still being found out. We still find out. I don't know what this is. I mean, I am not literally picking up on the motive of what these things do, or what it is that they're trying to go after. All I'm seeing is like it's like they hide, they camouflage, and then they grab people that are alone, and they only grab the ones they want to grab. And then they take them back to a place where they try to run some kind of experiments on them. Okay, let's see what else we get. So crazy. All right. Okay. Yeah, observation. It's like, what is going on with this? People are in fear. Okay, I'll read this whole thing to you. It's so nuts, you know? It is so nuts. Like, this reading is just, it went sideways. It's like, it's kind of like, you know, you wouldn't think something like this would be in the forest. I mean, it's quite frightening, you know? But then again, there was a forest that I went to once. And I do recall that I felt that I was being watched. I was being watched. And I was with another person in this place. And everything got quiet. There was no bird sounds. There was no crickets. There was nothing. So I grabbed the arm of the person I was with, because I had this feeling, this kind of feeling, like something's watching me to see when I'm kind of by myself type of thing, that kind of feeling. And it's like, no, I'm not going to be by myself. No, thank you on that one. You know what I mean? If you know, not to scare anybody with this, because you should, you know, definitely visit the National Forest, because there's a lot of beauty there. But be cautious and going anywhere by yourself, especially in the middle of nowhere. You don't know ever what happens to you. You never know what's going to happen to you. Always take somebody with you, you know, as for protection. Okay. And she was with a bunch of people, but she walked ahead and then she kind of was out of sight. Okay, so survival. There are people, it's showing me here, that they grab that are still alive. They're still alive, okay? They have these groups, these creatures, they are like a bond, like a family unit in a weird sense, like a city of them, you know, like a family unit. They eat parts of those that don't comply with them trying to run experiments, and when they're trying to get out of hand, it's like, you know, if they have nothing else to eat, they'll eat those kind of people, those people that are not complying. Battle. So some people, they take guns and they're by themselves, and the gun still doesn't work because these things are powerfully strong, like a Bigfoot, right? And so the person will grab the gun and try to shoot them with the gun, and they already jump on you because they can leap. They can leap. Okay, they're agile. You know, they're strong and agile, and they're big. They're tough. And so when people try to battle them, they'll battle with the person. You know, it could be a hunter that's going into the national forest, and then And this happens a lot, right? The hunters end up missing. Some of the hunters have ended up missing. And it's because these things are very strong. These things are very strong. They're observing. It's observation. You can see that. They observe people. They're observing, they're running tests, some kind of experiments. People are in fear. They're in fear when they finally snap out of it and they see that they're with these things. It's scary. It's very scary. They cover a lot of territory, a lot of national forests. They do have a self-interest. You see all of these these crows grabbing a mouse, and it's like, you know, they're doing it because everybody's benefiting in some way from it. So for them, it's also the same thing. They're running tests because somehow, I mean, I can't pick up exactly the thoughts of them because they're not human, okay? These things are animals. They're animals. And they do pick up, they grab people, and they're doing that for some kind of experimentation and testing. I don't know what this is. This is completely bizarre. I mean, could it be, I mean, I don't want to throw things out there. I mean, alien relation, you know, but I don't see that with this. I mean, I guess you could say it's alien in nature, because what kind of animal do you know grabs a person for experimentation, right? I don't know. I don't know what this is, but it's showing me, of course, that Trenny is no longer. It shows me that. It shows me that she had passed away. She passed away, but it was a sure accident. It wasn't... these things were not trying to kill her. It was a sure accident, but I mean, the fear of being caught by those things, you know, you're running and then you fall off a cliff edge. And those things will just grab your body and they just dispose of it. People don't find the remains. They don't find the bodies. They dispose of them. So this was a bizarre reading on Trenny, Trenny Gibson, that went missing in 1976 in the National Forest. We will get into more of these kind of readings on the National Forest disappearances. I mean, there's some that are just so bizarre, I can't believe, you know. I've watched some of the, if you ever get a chance, there's a guy that always talks about National Forest disappearances. He always talks about how the weather weirdly changes when people go missing. He's an ex-cop that finds this kind of stuff bizarre, that people are missing and it's not under natural circumstances. And this is what I'm reading right here. Okay. It's quite scary, right? But not to deter you from having a family day and getting out and doing something in a national forest. Just be safe about it. In any event, I will let you go for now. I appreciate that you watched this program today. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe and click on the notification button so you can be notified of my upcoming videos. Definitely hit the like button if you're liking these videos. You know, I like to know, and I'll continue putting more videos out. I see, you know, you guys are always very interested in these readings, whether we have bizarre readings or not bizarre readings, right? So I'll continue doing these readings for you based on what these cards are saying and based on the intuition I'm picking up from the cards as the tool. So thank you very much for watching the show today. And until next time, you know, the most important thing, you know what that is? You. You are the most important thing. So always remember that. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. Bye.